been quite a while since I last did one of these revisited, these guilty pleasure reviews. Let's talk about one that I've been requested to do. Let's cue the new intro. Alright, what's going on everyone? It is Epictastic Joshua here. I'm Joshua. Welcome back to the channel. For the two of you guys who are watching, and for those who will be watching with the replay, my name is Joshua Drake. I talk movies, TV, music, and anime, and I am doing a little requested movie review here. This is one of a couple of reviews requested by my good friend John Avenger, besides another one, which is Transfers, which I'll get to. But I'm going to, as you can see from the title and from the thumbnail, this is going to be my live movie review of a guilty pleasure that I have discovered. And this one is going to be for 2001 A Space Travesty. So this is not to be confused with 2001 A Space Odyssey. This is a sort of type parody of it. So with that being said, let's play the little clip here to show you guys what I'm talking about.
President, is that really you?
It depends on what you mean by the word is.
With the kidnapped president safely rescued, all that remained was to switch in with his clone at the Three Tenors Gala concert in Paris.
Pardon.
2001, A Space Travesty. One big gun of a film.
Big gun? This gun.
Who was this guy?
Blasting off.
Alright, sorry about that little clip there. So, this came out in the year 2000, and this, you may not have heard this one because this one is a little hidden gem I found. There's a lot of those you can find there, but this is, of course, okay, we got two people watching. Let's see. This is one of those hidden gems. Yeah. And this was requested to me by a good friend, John Avenger. He requested that this is one of the movies I talk about besides another one. And I do have my little notes here, so yeah. This came out on October 31st, 2000, directed by Allan A. Goldsmith, written by Francesco Lucente and Allan Shearman. This is a Canadian-Germany production. We'll get to the Germany part of it, but this stars the late Leslie Nielsen, Ophélie Winter, Peter Egan, Ezio Greggio, Damian Mason, and Alexandra Kamp. You kind of know where this is going to go when I talk about her. So, but before I get there, let's talk about the plot of this. And the simple premise here is that you have a goofy U.S. Marshal named Marshal Dick Dix, played by Leslie Nielsen, and he is sent on a mission to save the president from a conspiracy involving aliens and cloning. This is basically kind of like a parody of 2001 Space Odyssey, except it's not what you think this would be. But well, I want to talk about it, so let's talk about it. So, 2001: A Space Travesty. I was a little curious about it. My friend, he did have a little list of movies that he wanted me to check out, and this was one of them that was kind of in my requested review series, but I held it off because I didn't think this was going to be a movie that I wouldn't enjoy, and I went into this movie a little pessimistic, a little nervous, of course. You know how it goes with me sometimes when it comes to movies like this, because I am a fan of B movies, and this was going to be one of those movies where I enjoyed myself a good B movie. I love B movies that doesn't take itself too seriously. I like stuff like The Meg or stuff like Fast and Furious mostly, and even silly asylum B movies like Sharknado and Little Dead Riding Hood or something like that. But then you have B movies, which I'm not really a fan of, which controversially, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Let that sink in. But this was one, I didn't see a trailer. All I knew was you had Leslie Nielsen, and I saw a picture of it. And then my friend, this is maybe a few months ago, he was talking to me about it. And this was a movie that I've only seen this movie twice. The first time I saw it, considering how much I don't mind this genre, I was a little tired when I first watched this. And despite my worries of how bad this was going to be or how abysmal this was going to be, because I have seen some people not like it, I actually quite enjoyed 2001: A Space Travesty. Now, am I going to sit here and say this is an Oscar-winning movie? No, but this is one of my newfound guilty pleasures that I thoroughly had a lot of fun with, and I can understand some people not enjoying it. I can understand some people hating it, but for me personally, but you obviously know how this is gonna go. So, but let's talk about the things I liked in this and why this is one of my newfound guilty pleasures. So let's play a little meme clip I have here.
Oh my God.
Meme clip I have. So with that being said, let's talk about what I liked in this movie here. So, what did I enjoy in this? What made me have a lot of fun with this the way I did? And easily the thing I can say about this, the best thing about it is the late Leslie Nielsen does give a very committed and fun performance here. He's just as funny here as he was in some of the other movies I've seen him in, like the Scary Movie 3 and Scary Movie 4, and also the coming off my enjoyment of how much I enjoyed him recently in the Naked Gun movies a few months ago, especially the third one, which I don't mind the third movie. I thought he was actually very good in this movie as our main character Marshall. He's very funny. He's very likable. He had a lot of charisma and screen presence that you do sorely miss from him. And the man was a great actor. So he has since passed away, but he did great. And I don't think this is his worst movie he's done. I know some people feel that way, but I thought Leslie Nielsen did a very committable job in what he was doing in this Brault. He's very funny here. I thought he had a lot of charisma. There's his facial expressions and reactions that he has to do in this that makes it worthwhile. And I think for the most part, overall, I thought that what he was going for in this is actually very committed and very capable here. And There is a lot of moments here where in the wrong type of movie, just someone could play this very serious, very straightforward. But I think overall, what Leslie Nielsen commits to in this and what he gives to this is actually very competent and very well done. He's very good in the movie. I definitely thought he was great here. I will say the direction in this movie here is not the most amazing directing you'll ever see. If you come in to get some Stanley Kubrick, Oscar, Ari Aster, A24 type things into the directing, this is not going to be that type of movie. Because I think Allan A. Goldstein, I haven't seen his other directing work, and if I have, I probably may have missaid something here. But for the direction, I think is pretty serviceable. It's a pretty serviceable directing. The directing here knows exactly where it's going to go. It's definitely B movie type fun territory, but overall, it's a good type of B fun, and it's fun, it's entertaining, it's whimsical, and not to mention this is also a rated R, so they're able to get away with a lot of crazy R-rated jokes that you can get away with. And movies like this, and recently I saw Joyride and No Hard Feelings, just reminds me that there is hope for the comedy genre when you do put effort and not listen to these incels and cancel culture bullshit. None of that on Twitter. Comedies is meant to offend. Comedies is meant to challenge you, hit your funny bone. It's meant to make you angry at a few jokes. But if you can't accept certain jokes in movies, then why do you watch comedies? Because I swear, cancel culture has ruined one of my favorite genres in the history of film cinema. But I will say Allan A. Goldstein's direction is actually very good here. I can also say for a $45 million budget, the cinematography in this movie is well shot. You have your director of photography here is Sylvain Brault, and the production designer in this movie, of course, and the costume designers, it does a very good job here. Also, the hair and the makeup is all applied here. There's not 1 inch of CGI in this movie. There is some shoddy CGI here, but in terms of actual makeup and prosthetics and hair, all of it is real. There is some really good weaponry here used. There is some funny parodies that they go into, and while this is a parody of a Stanley Kubrick movie, it's not taking itself seriously. This is like if 2001: A Space Odyssey had a lot more dialogue and had a lot more comedy branched into it. And for me, I definitely admire that, and I definitely respect that in terms of what you're going for here. I definitely think that should definitely get some credit here, and that's actually really competent and actually very creatively handled here. And there's some good creature effects here. I'll admit there are some good creature effects here. And the creature effects in this movie are actually really good. I definitely do like those as well. Again, it's a $45 million budget, so estimated $45,000 budget. So not everything is going to look the greatest. Not everything is going to look crisp and clean. But this was when you didn't have to overspend in your movies. Now, 2024, if some of the big blockbuster movies, if you can cut down the budgets and stuff and not make it look cheap like an Asylum movie, then we will be epictastically awesome. But for the $45 million budget, cinematography, production design, makeup stuff, that looks great here. I will also say, I think the supporting cast in this movie is also really good too. You have Peter Egan as Dr. Griffin Pratt. I thought he had some funny moments to him. I thought he was charismatic here. And I thought he had a lot of entertaining to him. She's not here in here. She's downstairs. We'll get. Hey, he made it. John Avenger, he made it. I'll get to her, John. Don't worry. We're going to talk about Alexandra Kamp. We're going to talk about this. But I will say it. Let me just say, Peter Egan is Dr. Griffin Pratt. I thought he's actually very good here. He's a lot of fun, and he has his moments to shine as Dr. Pratt. Damian Mason as the president. Not in it very much, but he's actually very good here. You also got hold on. Let me make sure I'm pronounced Valentino Di Pasquale and Pierre Edwards. They do a very good job in their roles as well here. No, Ezio Greggio plays Captain Valentino Di Pasquale. My bad. He was fun in the movie. I also thought that David Fox was fun. I liked Pierre Edwards as Lieutenant Bradford Shitzu. We're going to talk about the woman of the hour, John Avenger. I promise you, because I do have a lot of thoughts to say about her. But let me just say that all of those actors are very solid in their roles. They know not to take this seriously. They know this is an Oscar. They know this is not some Oscar-winning bullshit. They know that this is just a simple, straightforward comedy that goes for it with the jokes, even goes for it with some of the sexual humor here, which might turn some people off nowadays. With considering how everyone is so sensitive to comedy nowadays, I do have my moments where in comedies where I'm a little bit sensitive to certain things, but I come to a comedy to laugh. I did it with Joyride. I did it with No Hard Feelings, and I can't wait to talk about those. But I will say that they all run with what they're given here. They know this is an entertaining film. Those top actors I just mentioned. Not to mention here, you have the added bonus of two beautiful, lovely performances of both of these girls. And this is also another reason why John Avenger, he did recommend this to me besides Leslie Nielsen, and thought that I might have a newfound guilty pleasure, which I gotta say, I appreciate him for being here. Don't worry, John, we're gonna do something live stream together on this channel and on your channel. We can work something out. But I just want to say that you have Ophélie Winter as Cassandra Minaj, and she's very capable. She gives a really capable performance despite the material, and she's very solid here. She has a sensual charm to her. They let her dress like a woman. She's beautiful. She's charismatic. She has some funny moments to her too. And I thought that she really had a lot of presence to her. But we're going to talk about the woman of the hour here. And you know where this is going to go. But before I get to her, I just want to read this little comment from John. He says, Alexandra Kamp is the sexiest actress for West Germany. She owns her female stature in this film. Which that brings me to the main, most valuable player herself, right next to Leslie Nielsen, and how much I laughed. The lovely Germany Western beauty that is Alexandra Kamp. And now I get to use this clip again to describe her in the little meme clip. How I feel about Alexandra Kamp.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh. Alexandra Kamp-Groenveld, or Alexandra Kamp, whichever one you want to call her, absolutely steals this movie for me. She is very entertaining here. She's really good in this, and as Dr. Yusha Kunstler, and she leaves a very amazing impression here. Now, I know she's a Germany actress, but you know what? I've seen a little bit of stuff from her, and I'm still going through filmographies to see what else she has. I know that she has a sci-fi movie, which I'm pretty curious to check out her little sci-fi movie, Sumeru. But let me just say that Alexandra Kamp is beautiful in this movie. She's very attractive. Overall performance is very good. 45-minute mark. This is all I'm gonna say for those who haven't seen this movie. She has a pretty iconic, sexy moment that no guy can get out of their heads. I'll just say right now. First, having seen this movie twice, I really think her scene with Leslie Nielsen stands out. It's played for laughs, so you think that she's gonna seduce she is seducing the main character, but it's more play for laughs. So I'll just say Alexandra Camp, she is gorgeous in this movie. Like, there is a scene in this movie, I shit you not, where she is dancing to and it looks like you think it's gonna go to where it's gonna go, but it's not. And also, I just have to mention the fact that she owns every piece of her female stature in this. I will agree with John Avenger on that. What a woman. She might not be in a lot of movies nowadays, but for the year 2000, she's actually really good here, and her little iconic movements here, I honestly laugh at it. So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. Uh-huh. That makes me laugh. That makes me laugh. And I'll just say it right now. If Karen Gillan or Caitlin Dever or Elizabeth Olsen or any other actress did something like that and make it very sexy and very hot, no matter the budget, whether it's a bigger budget or a smaller budget, that will make a guy fall in love. And I can see why John fell in love with this scene so much. I can see why he wanted me to watch this. It just goes to show you that women can be sexy and interesting in a comedy. That is as simple as I'm gonna get, because I'm just gonna tell you right now, cancel culture, you can cancel a lot of shit, but what you can't cancel is the sexual presence or the alluring presence of a woman. That's all I'm gonna tell you. That's all I'm gonna say. So I hope John enjoyed that. But Alexandra Camp, whoo, I don't know what I just did there, but I'm trying to be a little bit more expressive. But Alexandra Camp is very hot in this. Also, I will say that the score and the soundtrack might be a little, 2000s, but it was 2000s, and but it fits the tone. The score is silly and such, but it fits the tone. And I do appreciate this movie knows it's goofy and it's silly and it's ridiculous, and it knows what it is. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It doesn't overdo the jokes, and it doesn't have to go into self-indulgence territory sometimes. It kind of reminds me of a sci-fi version of Deadpool, if you will, with a little dash of Booksmart and a little dash of other comedies that some people will like. But it's good to see John Avenger here, and this is a movie that I appreciate the fact that it knows what it is here, and I overall laughed a lot. There's a song in this movie which is called "In the Navy," which when I first heard the song, because my friend John, he did share it with me the first time, and I admit this song got on my nerves after listening to it. I was like, this song is stupid. But having watched the movie twice, I can simply run with it, and it's a bop. I like songs that is a bop to get you dancing and just get you in the mood. It's why I like the Monster High movie so much. It's why I'm looking forward to Monster High 2. It's why I'm going to do a commentary for Monster High 2. So anyone who has a problem with the 2022 Monster High movie, respect your opinion, but I'm just going to say it. This is me being reasonable. And while there's a lot of things in this movie that work for me, well, shit. Almost dropped my phone. The whatever, as far as the mixed things, I mixed because on the use of Alexandra Kamp, because she's in the movie sparingly for what she has to do. But I do think a little bit more of her in this movie would have been a lot more fun, because I don't know, she just has a lot of fun energy to her. But that's really on the mixed side. And also, there are some moments where they do play a little crazy clips, like lion's cat fighting and such, which could turn some people off. So I will say it's very creative. And if they did Gwenpool somehow like this without having to pull anything funny like a Michael Bay hypersexualization or something, if you could do something interesting like this with Gwenpool or such, this will get people interested, you know? But those are just the main things in the positives in the mixed section. And I'm just going to play the Alexandra Kamp clip one more time because of how much an impression she made on me. And now going into the negatives of this, and I'm just gonna say it now. Some of the effects of this movie look bad. I know this is 2000s. I know this is a $45 million budget, but there are some early awful 2000s effects in this movie, and it looks bad, man. Even worse than some of the effects in The Flash. Even though I like that movie, there are some effects in that movie that were not so great. But compared to that, here it's very PlayStation 1-esque, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad where it doesn't take me out of the movie. There's also some jokes here that doesn't really quite work here. That there was maybe a few joke times where I wasn't laughing, but I was having a good time so much that I could easily just let some of those jokes go here. And also, I will say the characters are not that deep and compelling, of course. That I'll say that. But again, I didn't come to this crazy, silly B movie for Oscar-winning characters or deep, compelling characters, because nowadays some people just don't want to have a little bit of fun. You do realize you can be fun and also be silly, right? You don't have to have everything be so deep and compelling and so dark and serious. Just to let you know. And there are some moments of silliness I could have done without. It could be a little bit overdone in parts, but just like some of the jokes I didn't like, it doesn't detract from my enjoyments. It didn't. But overall, for my final thoughts to wrap this up, overall thoughts on this is, I think this is a very fun guilty pleasure. And this was back when parodies and comedies did not give a shit about about the feelings of cancel culture. Now, and just like that's why I love Joyride and No Hard Feelings, and I enjoyed this one a lot because it doesn't care about the feelings of incels or cancel culture. I had a lot of fun the first time watching this, and I had even more fun watching it last month. And this movie is very fun. I like the characters. I like the story. I like the parody. I love the self-awareness, the goofiness of the 2000s. Leslie Nielsen gives a very committed performance. May you rest in peace, bro, because you were awesome in this movie. I like the production design, costume design. I was very stunned by Alexandra Kamp in this movie. And I just really enjoyed what this movie has to offer. It might be a parody of a Stanley Kubrick movie, but it's a fun parody. Leslie Nielsen was a national treasure of comedy, and he's missed dearly in the movies that he did, even the not so great ones. Does it have its issues? Yes. Is some of the jokes dated? Yes. Are some effects here doesn't hold up? Yes. Does this movie have the deepest compelling characters? No. But this movie gave me what I want, and I was very happy that John Avenger requested this to me. I will get some more of your requests, John Avenger. And so this movie is hey, 3D movie cinema. Hey, the funny comments. Hey, I have a guilty pleasure. Hey, it's all right, Jacob. I have some entertaining movie because it's nice seeing you. Just to pick you on about the movies, to try to say hi and love to watch along. This isn't a watch along. This is more of a review, but it's good to see you here. Also, I love, like I said, be sure to check out 3D Movie Cinema. He is awesome. He's a great guy. Give him the love, especially the way he's using green screen through CapCut, which I've been experimenting with, and it kind of worked with Dungeons and Dragons. My review of that, but I have fun with this movie. It's not the greatest movie ever, but again, I don't come for Oscar-winning stuff when it comes to silly B movies like this. I just want to have fun, even if it's a creature feature. And because I had fun and because I enjoyed this, I'm going to give this one a highly recommend it. Now, know who you are going into this, because this is a parody. Some of the jokes are not going to work very well for some people, and some of it is not going to cater to your fancy. But if you're just going to be one of those cancel culture people who's trying to cancel everything, then just don't watch comedies. Matter of fact, you cancel culture people, don't watch anything that's a comedy or anything involving a girl or an interracial couple or characters of color, because you cancel culture people makes it pretty difficult for those who wants to enjoy something like this. And I have reviewed The Room years ago. That's on my channel. Just go into the search bar and you'll find it. It's a terrible movie, but that's also a funny movie. But I like this one more than The Room, because at least I didn't walk away pretty angry by the end of it. And with that, that is one of a few requested movie reviews from John Avenger that I've done. So, with that being said, if you guys are new to the channel, which I forgot to do this at the beginning, but I want to wait till the end anyway. If you guys are new to the channel, of course, as you can see on that screen, you know, all my social media links are in the description box down below, to my Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok, Snapchat. Also, my Cash App is also down there as well if you like seeing money there. Also, my Amazon wish list is in the description box down below. If you would like to send me anything from my Amazon wish list, it can be a movie, it can be a TV show, it can be a poster, it can be a toy. I just have plenty in my Amazon wish list. You don't have to, but if you would like to show your support, or you just want to send a fan mail, the safest way to do that is with the addresses down there below. Be sure to hit the bell for more Epictastic content, because I do have quite a lot more. There will be a lot more live streams, a lot more live reviews, a lot more Q&As, a lot more watch parties I got, especially coming next month for my 25th. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get notified when more videos are up. I know I still have some 2022 stuff, and I know I have to really get caught up with 2023, but I'm gonna make it happen. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I was glad to finally get this one done. Also, appreciate the love, man. Your channel is awesome and nice seeing you do it. I enjoy doing this because especially if it, because I like to do this for my Epictastic family here. So, with that being said, let's conclude with one thing. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. I will have my channel here, so you would like to see anything here, click the channel icon, subscribe for more. I will also leave a video and maybe a playlist here, so in case you want to see what I'm about. As always, stay Epictasticness, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. I will have my channel